Hi there, I'm Haji at the Grey Indian. I've been going grey now for over a year. I'm a practicing makeup artist in my 40s, and I found recently that my skincare and my makeup regime has had to change quite a bit according to my age and being in my 40s now. So if you're finding yourself on the same kind of journey, please give me a subscribe, give the video a like. My videos come out every Sunday, so hit the notification bells and you will get the notification when the video comes out. And if there's anything that you prefer to see, put it in the comments below. Today we're going to be talking more about Indian makeup, Indian wear, and grey hair. Right, okay, so let's get started with this look. Today's look is going to be an Indian look. I know there are many women who talk about looking aged or older if they've got grey hair and they want to wear their Indian outfit. So today I'm going to show you how I would do it and how I would dress up. I'm in my 40s, remember, so I'm not like a spring chicken or anything. Today I'm going to be working out the Jaclyn Hill palette, and we're going to be using these colours. That's actually a really dark green there. So sometimes I do go in with my foundation first, but I find that when I work with colours that are a little bit darker, I prefer to do my eyeshadow first, simply because if there's any fallout, I can clean it before I do the rest of my face. So first you want to go in with your concealer for your eyelids. I'm using the Shape Tape in medium sand, and I'm just going to take a slight bit just over my eyes, just to get a nice base for the eyeshadow. I'm going to apologise in advance if you can hear any kind of noise outdoors. My neighbour tends to talk very loudly when he goes outside, and also I live along the river, so there are sometimes speedboats that go along there and so on, and someone could very well take the dog out for a walk also. Right, okay, so there we go. I've just patted it in now. So I have my mirror here. That's where I'm going to be looking while I'm doing the makeup look. There we go. Right, so now with a fluffy brush, I'm going to go in with just a nice light beige color. I just have this habit of always doing like a light neutral color just as a transition shade. I just feel like everything goes on much nicely on top of that afterwards. So I'm just going to take a little bit over here. Now if you're like me and you're in your 40s, you're going to have noticed that basically as time's gone on, you're going to find that your eyelid skin starts moving along with your brushes. I've noticed that after my 40s. It's not a big deal. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just something I've noticed, and I just thought I'd point it out because if you have the same thing, it's normal. Right, and that's it. So you can just see a slight hint of colour there. Now, I'm going to go in with this colour here. And what I'm going to do is just start at the edge over here. Put a little bit over here on the inner eye, like this. And just start taking it around. Just underneath that bone there, so into your crease. And yes, you might notice that I am using the same brush because I don't have an issue using the same brush. I think it's perfectly okay. It will get washed after I've used it today. Green is a colour that many of us can be quite afraid of, I think, because of the fact that if it falls out underneath your eyes, it can give a kind of blue effect when you go in with your concealer or with your eyeshadow. And I find the same with blue, but the opposite way around, that you can find it to look a bit green. And that's why I suggest if you do it first, it will probably work out better, because then you can just use wipes to clean up underneath. With eyeshadow, you've got to blend it in. That's the whole art of eyeshadow. Oh, nice bit of sun's come out now. And the other eye. I also want to say thank you to all the new subscribers I have got recently. I really appreciate your subscription and appreciate that you're following this. The whole reason I started off this channel was because when I was going to go grey and when I found that my skin was aging, I just didn't find anybody that looked like me on YouTube, as in Indian, in my 40s and going grey. So I just figured, hello, if I'm going grey now and I am a makeup artist, you know, maybe it might help to have something out there for others who, like me, are looking for a little bit of maybe inspiration or guidance. Get my flat brush, and now I'm going to go in with this kind of a color. Tap off the brush and just kind of put it into the middle there. And can you see what it's done? Instead of just looking too white, because I just went over lightly with a bit of green, it just gives your eye a little bit of pop. This is actually called a spotlight eye. Right, so we've got it on there. I'll take it on this one too. Just in the middle. And now what we want to do is, it looks a bit harsh at the moment, so we want to blend it. So we're going to get that same brush again and just go around the edges of that spotlight, the lighter shade, there we go, and just kind of work into it without going over the middle part of the bright shadow. There you go, so you can see it's transitioned nicely now. And on this side also. Right, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is, with this darker shade, I'm just going to do a little touch of it just over on the sides over here, yeah? So literally just a touch, just that part there. And just touch it in gently, just to give it a little bit more depth. Same on the other eye. Now I'm going to take that same brush, run it over a little bit of tissue, and take that neutral colour that I picked up initially and just touch it along the top here. Just so there's no harsh lines and it's a nice transition. So I'm just going to get a brush like this and go in with that lighter green first and just take it, tap it off so that you don't get too much excess on your eye down here, your under eyes. I've just taken a little bit of the darker green now, the one that I showed you, and just touching it slightly near the edges there. And although I can't see any fallout, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe like this. So that lighter colour that I put over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that underneath my eyebrows to give it a little bit of a lifted effect. Just in the centre, I'm not going to take it all the way along. There we are. Now I'm going to go in my eyebrow pencil. This is something that I've picked up from Capital Hair and Beauty. And it has a spoolie at the end, which is fantastic to use. And just go in and fill in my eyebrows. I get my eyebrows microbladed. So half the job's actually already done for me. Now, if you are someone who goes a little bit excessive with your foundation, I would say leave your eyebrows until you have finished your foundation, because you can very easily get your foundation over your eyebrows, and so it makes sense to do it afterwards. But yeah, and then just use a spoolie to basically just blend it out a little bit so the eyebrows don't look too harsh. There we are, more of a natural kind of effect. I've got this Skin Tune Blur by Fasali. God, YouTube videos make it look so easy, don't they? Oh, just pump it out and that's it. Right, I'm not going to put a whole lot on. I'm just going to put it in my zones that I can tend to get a little bit sweaty. So around here, maybe around my nose, chin area, and just this area over here. I always go in my contour first and my concealer. I just prefer the way it looks when my makeup's done this way. Right, so just going to jot it down my nose, tap, 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 tap. If you want to have the lifted look, a more youthful look, contour is very important. The whole illusion of it is to basically lift your cheeks up, and if you want to find it, you just find where your cheekbone is, and then there's a dip underneath there, and then just take it from there. I do it as high as I possibly can, just underneath my cheekbone. I just feel like it gives me more of a lifted look. And then I'm just taking it in with a beauty blender, and I'm just kind of pushing it into my skin rather than dragging it along. Now, for those of you who don't know, the whole point of contour is to shape your face. Yeah, so to slim down your face and lift it up where you want it lifted, and to slim it where you want it to look slimmer, basically. So I've always had a big forehead, nothing wrong with that, but I do try to make it just a little bit smaller so that the highlight is just over here. And it just kind of gives more of a defined shape to my face. Make sure when you're doing your contour, you're actually taking it up to here where your ears are. Otherwise, it's just going to look really odd. Right, so now with the under eyes, I go in with the Maybelline Eye Eraser Buff. Just here and here. I just feel like it works like a little bit of a colour corrector for me. And maybe just jot it around here. I'm just patting in my concealer now. Well, sorry, colour corrector. I know I'm confusing you. Right, so it is actually a concealer. It's a shade Buff, but I use it as a colour corrector. Maybelline, right. But this is in the shade Nude, and this is what I use as my concealer. So that will go over it. Well, over my under eyes like this. And I'm just going to leave it there for a minute to kind of work, warm to my skin. In the meantime, I'm going to go in with my foundation. So I'm just got a little bit on my hand there, and I'm just going to touch it with my beauty blender and just start patting over like this. Yep, over the concealer, all over here, and slowly, there we go, start patting it in. As you get older, you will find that, you know, too much foundation just doesn't suit our skins. Our skin. Singular. It doesn't suit our skin. So what we want to do is just use a little bit. You could take a brush in, you could take a beauty blender in. I take a beauty blender just simply because I just find that the beauty blender, because it's a little bit damp, it just gives me a bit of a nice sheen and without it looking too heavy. And look, you can already see it's pretty good coverage, isn't it? And look how much I still have left. So I've barely had any of it, to be honest. Just keep working this in, and that's it. And now I'm going to work with that concealer and dab the concealer in. And especially because we do tend to have lines that are closer to the lash line, and the more product we're going to put on them, the more it's going to sit in our lines. The product will sit in our lines. So that's it. And just make sure you're working that concealer right into the edge over there, where you can see a gap between the eyeshadow and that dip in your eye at the end. There we go. And the rest of it, I just usually take up along here to give a bit of a lifted effect. There we go. So any excess will just go into these areas that I want to highlight. Now that my under eyes are dry, I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty, my Ride or Die at the moment, just underneath my eyes, and just work it in like this. I would say, like, look up, because what will happen is when you're looking up, your eye is stretched. So now I'm just going to go in with this kind of a brush, just tap it off a little bit and just work it slightly like this, just in my areas where I do find that I tend to get a little bit oily, which is usually this area and just around my nose. Sometimes I find it easier to work with a brush like this, just around my nose area, to really get in there. Right, there we go. So now I'm just going to work on a bit of bronzer. I am going to do a video about bronzers very soon. You know, people have asked me on Instagram as well about, for Asian skin, can I use bronzer without it making me go dark? Will it make me look dark? And so we're going to cover that in another video. Here I'm using it just to warm my skin up a little bit. And I'm going to go in with this blusher over here. This is like my mixed palette. It's a MAC blusher. And once again, I will link the shade for you below. And I'm just going to work over here and kind of start working it upwards in circular motions. Like I said before, just don't take too much product. Build it up. So I'm going to go in with my red lip now. And I have my reds over here in a palette that I put together. So I'm going to go in with this bright one over here. I think it's very nice. There you go. I have this MAC liner. It's the shade Tealo, and I'm going to run this into my eyes. I actually prefer this kind of a color. It's green, and I think it will look nice with the kind of makeup I had on today, which is green. My outfit will be green. Right, there we go. Get a tiny little brush like this. Touch it into that same color that I put in the middle here, and just touch it into the inner corners of your eyes, just to open up your eyes a little bit and give it that pop. If you want to do a flick, I just like to just do it at the ends like this without running it all the way through. There we go. Just a tiny little flick there. Now I'm going to curl my eyelashes. Go in with the mascara, which is a Sky High Maybelline mascara, which I'm really loving at the moment. It's all I'm using. See that? Okay, so I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna do my under eyelashes, which is very important too. Get ready, and then I will show you the completed look once I'm done. Right, so here we go. I didn't end up putting on the false lashes. I think my eyelashes actually look fine the way that they are. So I just did about 3 coats of mascara at the top and at the bottom, and got dressed into this green outfit here, put on some earrings, just twisted my hair back from one side, just to show you that actually I think I still can rock an Indian outfit even though I'm going grey. So you tell me, do you like it? Do you think this hair color does affect how old I look? Do you think I'm still able to rock an Indian outfit even though my hair's going grey? I honestly believe that your youth is nothing to do with your hair. It's all to do with how you get ready, how you do your makeup, what you eat, what you drink, and how you look after your skin, and also the way that you feel. So if you like this video, please do subscribe. I am more than happy to do more Indian looks to show anybody out there to see, you know, actually you can still be grey. You can be grey and still wear Indian outfits. Please give this video a like if you liked it. My videos come up every Sundays, so hit the notification bell, then you will get the notification the next time my video comes up. So until next time, remember, grey is okay. Take care. Bye.